Certainly God knows how much we can bear. Let me say a good morning to each and every one of you, to those that I haven't had an opportunity to greet as of yet. If I miss calling your name, charge it to me just missing missing it on the board. Sometimes the names fly by so fast that I have a tendency to miss things every now and then. And speaking of missing things, yesterday, after I'd signed off, I started thinking and I started wondering. I knew we had a birthday to celebrate on yesterday, and I don't think I mentioned the birthday person on yesterday. So let me go back and acknowledge Janice Jones's birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday to you, Janice. I felt so bad about it after I thought about it. I don't want you to feel like you're not important to the Morning Mocha family. So I'm picking that back up today. I want to wish Janice Jones a happy belated birthday because I missed acknowledging it on yesterday. You see, everybody here on Morning Mocha is an important part of our family. And so, again, I want to make sure that I wish Janice Jones, I missed it yesterday and I certainly apologize, but happy birthday to you. I realized it after we signed off on yesterday. I said, I think I forgot to acknowledge her birthday. And so, sometimes my mind get to racing and running and I have so many things I'm thinking about and I'm trying to cover everything. But I missed that on yesterday. So my deepest apologies, my sincerest apologies, Janice, but I trust and pray that you had a blessed birthday on yesterday. Lady Ann just checked in with us. Good morning, Lady Ann Cobbins. Good morning to you. Now, today, we celebrate the birthday of another Jones, Bree Jones. Happy birthday to Bree Jones. Now, her birthday is actually going to be March the 6th, but you all know we don't come on Sundays or Mondays and so we want to wish her a happy birthday on today. Early happy birthday to Bree Jones, and we hope that you have the happiest birthday that you can ever imagine, Bree. God bless you. I often tell everybody to make sure that the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning and on your birthday is give God thanks for keeping you another year. We ought to thank him for keeping us another day, but certainly giving praise and thanks. Don't celebrate without including God in your celebration, particularly the celebration of Thanksgiving unto the Lord. Well, we've already had one giveaway today. We already had one giveaway, and the question was, who could name my 3 books? And I understand Bridget MacArthur was the first one to name all 3 of my books. Someone tried to be slick. They named 2 of them, and then they said, and the first one. Of course, the first one. But what was the name of the first one? I would have made it even more challenging. I would have had you to name all 3 in the order they were written and released. Wow. Okay. So that would have been a challenge as well. But congratulations to you, Bridget, for answering that question. I believe we have another one that's going to pop up here in a minute. Tisha, are we going to do the second question as well? Let me know if we're going to do a second question, because I'd like for us to go ahead and do that before we jump into what we want to talk about today. And that way we give people a little bit more time to get logged in as well. So Tisha, you're in charge of that. Let me know if we're going to ask the second question and get a winner from today's second question as well. Unless you want me to just go ahead and ask the question. All right. I'm going to get a response here in a minute here. Well. Tisha, okay. It's pinned under Canaan Post. All right, I'm trying not to move on before we get a winner to the second question. The second question was posted already. Has anyone answered that second question yet? I don't think they have. Some of you might be still wondering what the second question was. And the second question is, who can name the three Morning Mocha guests we had last month? Who can name the three? Okay. Okay. We need names, not situations, Joyce. And I'm kind of wondering, y'all know I don't consider Pastor Grubbs really a guest anymore, technically. He's my co-host whenever he comes on. I want to see who's going to come up with this answer. There was an additional guest there. Who can name all three of those guests that I had on within the past 30 days? Okay. Well, all right. Well, while y'all toying with that, I guess I don't see anybody. I've only seen one person take a stab at the names. No one's posted any of the names just yet. Were they that boring to y'all that y'all didn't remember any of their names? All right, y'all about to take too long, so I'm about to move on in a minute here, and I guess we'll have to get to that at a later date and time. It looked like a later date is really going to be what it is, a later date, because no one seems to be coming up with the answer. Wow, some of y'all are racking your brain. Wow, I wish I knew. Well, some of you are saying, Tisha, no, Rochelle wasn't within the last 30 days. She was much further back than that. I keep telling y'all, technically, Pastor Grubbs is my co-host. Are y'all listening out there? He's my co-host when he comes on with me. Anybody? Somebody said, got some close ones. Well, y'all, I'm not going to sit here and wait today because some of y'all are saying who, but none of you, nobody's giving me all three names yet. Somebody's close. Donna Stevenson, you're close. You're very close. Jackie Burns. There it is right there. Jackie Burns. Michelle Kennedy, and actually that's Tisha Beeks, but we know you're talking about our Tisha. And Daryl Burton. That's exactly right. You have the persons and you have all three names. And I'm declaring Jackie Burns the winner right now. Jackie Burns, you got it. Congratulations, Jackie, on coming up with all three of those names. Again, to all of you that just joined us, we just had a little period where we had a little trivia period where we just awarded some gifts. I know my team got great gifts for you, and congratulations to our winners, Bridget McLaughlin and Jackie Burns. Jackie Burns said, boom, she got it. I ain't mad at you, girl. Celebrate yourself. It is all good. Today, I just want to encourage you all to just make it count. Make what count? Whatever you do in life, make it count. You know, the older I get, the more I value my time, my energy, and know that I have to make the most of all of my opportunities. I realize more than ever before that time waits for no one. I know y'all know this, and it's certainly not moving in reverse. Time is not waiting on you. I keep trying to wrap my mind around the fact that in just a few more months, I'm going to have to stop saying that I'm 50 something, and I'm going to have to start owning up to the fact that I'll be in my 60s. I'll hit 60 come June. I'll be 60 years old. Time is not going in reverse. And some of you all might laugh at me when I say that, but time is not waiting on you either. All of us are aging literally by the day. And I'm telling you, aging does something for you. it does something to you, not in a bad way, but aging does something for you in that it helps to raise your awareness about certain things. Andrea Bledsoe, little sister, don't you dare laugh like that when you right at on the heels of being 60. You right behind me. That's my little sister, y'all. She always gets such a big laugh anytime I mention that I'm about to be 60. But she is right. When I tell y'all right behind me, she is right behind me. She'll be there before she knows it. But again, uh, age just does that to you. It raises your awareness about, at least it should. Why? Because the older you get, the more mature you should become. You really should become that much more mature. And because I realize that time is waiting on no one, and it's certainly not moving in reverse, you know, I'm doing all that I can to make the most out of my life. I've also come to realize how many of us so often take life for granted. Many of us we literally minimize the opportunity afforded us to make the most of our lives and to leave an indelible mark on life. You know, it would be a shame if we were to live our entire lives and have absolutely nothing to show for it. If you live your entire life and there's nothing that you can look back on and point to and say, you know what, thank God I was able to get this done, get that done, to accomplish this, to accomplish that. It would be a sad thing if you get to the end of your life and the only thing that you can bring up that's of any significance to you are the troubles, the heartaches, and the pains that you've experienced over the years. That would be so sad. Do you realize that the future that you hope for does not have to be a matter of mere wishful thinking? It doesn't. Your hopeful future does not have to be a mere fantasy that you don't really believe will ever come to pass. If you are stuck in that situation, I feel sorry for you. Now that's bad because you probably don't need that, because you probably do a lot of feeling sorry for yourself. But I truly believe that it's all a matter of your mindset. It's a matter of your thinking. If you truly believe that the future that you hope for is just a mere matter of wishful thinking, or it's nothing more than a fantasy that you would hope to someday come true in your life. If you're living your life like that, man, I truly believe that you are wasting your time and you're not making the most of your opportunities. Some of you look at your present state of life and you feel so down and discouraged when you examine your present state of life. But believe it or not, the life you're presently living doesn't have to be a life lived in mediocrity. I know that some people may not want to believe or acknowledge it, but for the most part, you have created the life you are presently living. Well, how so, Dr. Collins? You've done it by the choices you've made over your lifetime. That's a true statement. Because when you think about it, every one of your choices, every one of your decisions help to set the tone for your living, both then and possibly even to this present day. You've created the life you're presently living by the opportunities that you passed up on. So many opportunities that you had to do something awesome or to make something awesome happen in your life, but yet you passed up on those opportunities. You created the life that you're presently living by those significant moments that you failed to maximize. I know that all of us live with some regret of not taking advantage of a once in a lifetime opportunity. I've heard so many stories of what people said they could have been, what they could have done, where they could have been at this point in their lives. And to be honest with you, to be perfectly transparent, I've got some of those stories myself. Some of us would have been millionaires by now if we had simply taken advantage of just one financial investment opportunity. Yeah, absolutely. And some of you right now, from that statement, you're saying, my gosh, I know you're right about that. You know I'm right. You know, you thinking back on those things, those opportunities that you had to make a small investment. And because you were skeptical at the time, you didn't take advantage of that small investment or that opportunity to make that small investment. And now you know people who did, who are living large based on them taking advantage of that one opportunity. I hear you, Rochelle Parker. She said Bitcoin 10 years ago. Some of us didn't even know that Bitcoin was around 10 years ago. Full disclosure, I had a person come to my office about that long ago and laid out this plan and told me about how Bitcoin is the commerce vehicle of the future. I listened to his spiel. He did his salesman's pitch, but my skepticism came because he couldn't show me where he had done anything of any significance in it to that point. Y'all know how we are. We got to see it to believe it. We've got to see someone else really make good of it or make good in it before we'll take a chance on investing ourselves. But most of the time, when we finally get convinced that the opportunity is a good opportunity, then the real opportunity has passed us by. When we finally decide that an investment is a good investment, the market is saturated. The market is saturated, and so many people have gotten into that particular investment that it's not yielding. It's no longer yielding the return that it did at one time or when it first was put out there. Now, some people would say that you still can get into Bitcoin and that kind of thing and make good. Yeah, you probably can. But think of how much better I would have been, how much better position I may have been had I taken advantage of taking that young man's advice that came to my office and shared it with me. If I had done that 10 years ago and I had been serious about investing in Bitcoin. Tisha Hillman, you're exactly right. Now the thing is NTFs, non-fungible tokens. Some people say whatever that is. Well, it's become a hot item, a hot ticket item over the past few years. And we know that now that major retailers and companies and things of that nature, they're getting deeply involved in trading in cryptocurrency. These NFTs, I heard a report just a week or so ago that Walmart was going to start engaging and trading and all of that in NFTs. Rochelle Parker, you're smart. She said she just sold her first NFT this week. Now, I've been being told about the NFT. I'm not so skeptical about it as I am nervous about trying to learn it because it is complicated trading and you have to really know what you're doing or you'll find yourself losing a whole lot of money. You know, but again, You got to look on the brighter side of it. Think about the opportunity that is being presented to you. You know, some of you constantly find yourself saying, and I've said it as well, if I knew then what I know now. How many of you have said that? If I knew then what I know now, I hate to burst your bubble, but you would probably be in the same predicament that you're in right now. Why do I say that? I say that because if you're presently not making the most of your opportunities, then obviously your thinking has not changed. You're older and you're still thinking the same way. Most of us are very skeptical when it comes to opportunities that are presented to us. We're skeptical, we're hesitant, we're doubtful. Most of us only believe in playing it safe. We love the status quo because for many of us, the status quo is a safe place. But here's what you got to realize about the status quo. There's no movement in the status quo. There's no advancement in the status quo. There is no discovery in the status quo. Your comfort in the status quo is keeping you from discovering what is possible for your life. Now, as I say this to you, I'm not suggesting that you become foolish and just start throwing caution to the wind. You've got to be wise in making certain decisions. That wisdom comes with knowledge. That knowledge comes as a result of research. Sometimes you got to do your due diligence. Sometimes you have to talk to more than one person, more than one knowledgeable person. And the person that I would call knowledgeable or an authority on any given subject that I would ask them about is someone who's already doing well in the industry of my interest. You can't tell me how to do something if you're failing and doing it yourself. If you don't possess enough wisdom to be successful in it yourself, why would I want to listen to you? Here I go again. just full disclosure. Years ago, there was a guy that came to my house and he wanted to talk to me about financial investing. First of all, he pulled up in not just a raggedy car, but a beat up car. I think one of his doors or a couple of his doors didn't even match the car. You know, it was literally a clunker. He got out of the car. He had run over shoes. He was not that neatly groomed in my estimation. And as he was approaching my front door, I had already decided I don't want to hear nothing he has to say about finances. Now, I'm not suggesting that he had to pull up in the latest model car. I'm not suggesting that he had to be clothed in designer clothing. But he at least had to look like that he wasn't living on government assistance. And I don't mean any disrespect to people who are living on government assistance, but again, if you're going to try to sell me something with regards to putting me in a better financial position, you ought to look like you've had some type of success. You ought to have on a decent pair of shoes instead of shoes that are run over and looking like if I were to have you to show me your soles, you may have holes in your soles. I'm just keeping it real, y'all. Yeah. I mean, there was nothing impressive about his presentation, his physical presentation totally turned me off. And admittedly so, he may have had a wealth of knowledge, but he lost me just from how he showed up. Wow. Now, some people might say you can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, that may be true, but to me, that wasn't a book. That was a person that was coming to try to tell me how to manage my money, and it didn't look like he was managing his very well. Well, some of you might say, well, maybe he just wasn't interested in driving a nice car and wearing fine clothes. Well, come on, y'all. Let's be honest. Making proper financial investments, most of us do so because we want to live what we think to be a pretty comfortable and nice life, having the nicer things in life, being able to present ourselves in such a way that we are presentable to whomever we come into the presence of. Come on. Let's just be honest about that. And it's not about greed. It's not about balling. It's not about being all iced up, all kind of jewelry and bling bling. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about just being able to live your life very comfortably. And when people look at you, instead of being turned off, they will be attracted or drawn to you, believing that there is something about you worth them discovering. But if you got the wrong presentation, glory to God. Listen, those of you that are in that type of industry where you may be trying to help people with their finances or whatever the case may be, let me advise you, make sure that you have a presentable presentation about yourself. Look the part. Look the part. I'm not telling you to be over the top, but look the part. But again, let me get back to my main point. Some of you are just continuing to play it safe. You feel safe in the status quo. And here's what's sad. You're going to wind up going to your grave talking about what you should have done. You're going to be talking about the opportunities you should have seized and the moments that you should have maximized. I'm at the point in life where I have come to the conclusion that is absolutely no way to live your life. At some point in your life, you have to come to the realization that it's time to change some things. It's time to shake up some things. It's time to make the most of your life. It's time to make every moment count and make the most of your moments. Well, if you haven't gotten there yet, maybe as you begin to get older, you'll finally get to that age in life where you finally decide, well, I better start doing something. I better start shaking up some things and changing some things. Otherwise, I'm going to be that person that checks out without having done anything of any importance or significance. Listen, Nowadays, when I make the statement, I don't have time for, I mean that I don't have time for certain things. I really mean that. When I say I don't have time for foolishness, I really don't have time for foolishness, regardless as to who it's coming from. I just don't have time. Nowadays, when I say I don't want to waste my time, I really mean that I don't want to waste my time. I'm at a point in my life where I must make the most of my time. And if anyone is going to waste my time, that person is going to be me. I can waste my time, but you can't. I'm not going to give you that privilege because this is my time. This is my life. I've got to live my life. So certain things nowadays, I won't even entertain it. I'm not bothering with it. I used to be that person to try to accommodate everybody, regardless as to what their needs may be. Tried to accommodate everybody all the time, only to find out that while they were getting relief from their situation, I was becoming more stressed out. Because there were a lot of times where these people were taking up my time and they were literally wasting my time because what they wanted me to help them deal with is some of the foolishness that they were getting themselves into. I know some of y'all might think that sounds hard or insensitive, but it's a reality. It's truth. And they go off happy-go-lucky after they've dumped all their trash and their mess on me. Now I'm left to deal with stressing out over what they've dumped on me. Look at my watch and realize how much time that I've wasted dealing with someone else's foolishness. No, I'm at that point now, y'all. Some of y'all can say amen to this because some of y'all are as old as I am or older, or at the least you are chopping at my heels with regards to your age. And really, the reality is you don't have to get to a certain age before you finally make these kinds of conclusions. As a matter of fact, the younger you are, the sooner you do it, the better off you'll be in life. The sooner you decide that I don't have time for foolishness, that I don't have time to allow someone else to waste my time, that if anybody's going to waste my time, it's going to be me. The sooner you decide that you need to make the most of your moments and maximize your opportunity, the better off your life is going to be. You'll see your life begin to change and to turn around so quickly. And you'll even now discover that there were some things that you thought you couldn't do that you really can do, especially now that you realize you have more time because you're not wasting your time on other people's foolishness. Charge it to my age, charge it to my wisdom, whatever. At any rate, I'm determined to make what I choose to do count. The truth is, there's still some places I want to go. There's still some things that I want to see. There are still some experiences that I want to have. And if I'm going to fully live the life I want to live, I'm going to have to make the most of my moments. I'm going to have to make my moments count. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Start valuing your time. Start valuing your moments. You know, one of the most liberating things that ever happened to me is when I finally learned to tell people no. Now, I know you all have heard me say this before, but I think it bears repeating today. If you don't believe it's liberating, try it. Try learning to tell people no. Try learning to tell people, I can't do that. Because see, here's what's sad. What's sad is that some people that come to you requesting things of you and from you, they think they've already got your life figured out. They've already determined what you can and cannot do. They've already determined what you should and should not do, especially as it pertains to them. People will have you more obligated to your life than you are to your own. That's true. And you'll spend all of your days making sure that you're meeting all the needs of everybody else while you're constantly neglecting yourself. And when I'm talking about neglecting yourself, when you're neglecting yourself, in the process, you're neglecting family. Sometimes you're even neglecting your own responsibilities. But you think you're doing the Christian thing by jumping to everyone's beckoning call. Now, I know some of you that may not be members of the congregation there at Canaan Worship Center, y'all might be saying, well, I don't want no pastor like that. Well, okay. I mean, that's up to you. But the reality is, pastors don't necessarily want members that think that they should jump to their every beck and call. Let me throw this out there since I brought up this thing about ministry and pastors and all of that. What some people fail to understand, that it is more the responsibility of the sheep to take care of one another than it is for the shepherd to make sure they're individually taking care of every sheep. That shepherd is to lead. That shepherd is to instruct. That shepherd is to give wisdom to help position those sheep in the very best position that they can ever find themselves in. But since the sheep live among the sheep, then it's more the responsibility of the sheep to help take care of the sheep. Does that make sense? I know it don't to some of you. Me coming from a large family, it really makes sense to me because I think about this. My parents, who had 9 children, okay, when we were at our earliest stage of life, mother did most everything for us as infants and toddlers. But the older siblings, once they came of age, they then became more responsible for helping to take care of the younger siblings. The parent would pass that responsibility on to the older siblings. Now, you help to get your younger brother dressed. You make sure your younger brother and sister get breakfast today or to get lunch. You help to meet some of their needs. I've raised you and I've helped to mature you to a point where now you can reach back and help somebody else. And there were certain things that we stopped expecting from our parents, knowing that we had an older sibling. At least I was in that position. I had an older sibling that I could go to that could help me in certain situations. My go-to person in our family was my oldest sister, Angie. Angie was my go-to person. I needed something. If I couldn't go to mom and dad for it, if I knew I could go to Angie for it, I would go to Angie for it, and she would hook a brother up. Absolutely. I hope you're getting the picture there. I hope you're getting to understand. I didn't mean to veer off on that so deeply, but again, we go through life and we allow so many people to rob us of precious time. And while they're robbing us of precious time, we're missing out on opportunities. And once you miss so many opportunities, after a while, that spirit of regret begins to sink in. Listen, I'm yet encouraging you to become determined to make the most of your life. Make the most of your opportunities. To begin to intentionally maximize your moments. Since I'm at the age that I'm at, and I've learned the things that I've learned, everything I do, every decision I make, I'm determined to make it count. The last thing that I want to take to my grave are regrets. I don't want to take regrets to my grave. And furthermore, check this out. I just mentioned the fact that in a few months I'm going to be 60 years old. But I'm determined that my best days are ahead of me and not behind me. See, it's all in how you look at life. It's all in how you view life. When you come to the point where you've decided, I can't waste time anymore, you'll start to moving and shaking. I've decided that there's so much more for me to achieve. There's so much more for me to acquire. I'm not thinking about retirement. I'm thinking about advancement. Now, wait. For some of our Canaan Worship Center church family members, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be pastor until I'm 102. No, that's not going to be me. I'm not that dude. It just means I got something else in mind. And I'm going to keep advancing. There's going to be a day when I transition out of pastoring and I'm going to be doing something totally different. But I'm not going to be retiring. I'm going to be advancing. I'm not going to be regressing. I'm going to be advancing. Yes. Why? Because there's so much more life to live. But I must make it count. I must make the most of the opportunities presented to me. You know, I've been saying this here lately. I've been using this phrase quite frequently here lately. You can't just talk about it. You have got to be about it. Some of the reasons why some of us miss some very, very significant opportunities is because it's simply because we just you talk too much. You do a whole lot of talking, but while you're talking, you're doing nothing. Talk never accomplishes anything. It might encourage you a little bit, but that encouragement is only temporary. Encouragement is really only effective when the person takes action as a result of being encouraged. That's right, Kendra. That's right, Tisha. Talk is cheap. Anybody can talk. And there are people who have a wealth of words, but no action to go along with those words. Are you that person? What are you sitting on right now? What could you be doing that you're not doing? What is possible for you that you haven't made probable for you? It's all up to you. Yes, it is. It's all in the choices you make. It's all in the actions that you choose to take. All right. God bless y'all. That's all I have for today. That's all I have for the week. Before I sign off, I want to remind you that tomorrow we'll be celebrating the life of my mother's sister, Lily Henson. Lily Henson. We'll be celebrating her life on tomorrow. That service will take place at Miracle Temple, the Church of God in Christ headquarters of Kansas East jurisdiction there on 21st, 22nd, and Quindaro. I believe the visitation is from 9 to 11 with the service beginning at 11 a.m. We've been soliciting your prayers for the family. We ask you to continuously lift up the family. This is the second sister that my mother has lost in the past 6 months, 6 to 7 months, I believe it is. So we asked you would continuously pray for my mother and her surviving siblings, the ones that are yet still around. Pray much for them. One of those persons is part of our Morning Mocha family. At least she's married to my mom's baby brother. That's the person of Gay Calhoun. This aunt of mine that I'm talking about is the sister-in-law to Gay Calhoun. And y'all know Gay Calhoun is a part of our Morning Mocha family, and she knows that we are praying. We had a conversation just on the other day, and I know she passes my sentiments on to my Uncle Charles, Pastor Charles Calhoun. So again, we ask you would continue to pray for us, not only for our family, but others that are experiencing bereavement, sickness, some that have gone through surgeries and things of that nature. We are praying for you. We are praying for your family members. Spent some time in prayer this morning, just praying for people who were experiencing both bereavement and sickness in their families. All right. God bless all of you. Thank you again, all of you that are expressing your condolences for my mom and her siblings and family and everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Y'all know we love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. We're going to love you anyway. Well, God bless you. Thank you again for tuning in. Pastor Raju, I'm going to send you an email in just a few minutes, if you will. So if you can respond to that email as soon as possible, I'd appreciate it. All right. Until next week, I look to see many of you in service on this coming Sunday morning at 9 a.m. at Canaan Worship Center. If your church is not yet holding in-person service, you're more than welcome to come and join us Sunday morning at 9 a.m., 5333 East Bannister Road in Kansas City, Missouri. We would love to have you come and be a part of our live worship experience. Well, for those I'll see Sunday, we'll see Sunday. For the rest of you, until next Tuesday morning, you have a blessed, wonderful, and even prosperous rest of your weekend. God bless.